I just have one fracking moment in my happy place. Welcome to season 2.
You've been waiting for this. Tell me I'm the queen. All eyes on me when I'm on the scene. Just watch me now. Just watch me. Just watch me. Just watch me now. I'ma show you how I do.
We are back down in Rhode Island. We've checked the boat. It seems to maybe be loose from the rocks. I mean, we can't really tell. It's rocking a lot. We still don't know. We won't know anything for sure until Towboat comes and checks it out. They should be out here shortly. Don't really know what we expected to see or to do. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is wait for them to come, assess, and tow so we can get the boat pulled out and see what it looks like. I don't know what happens next. I'm just trying to stay positive, stay hopeful.
I don't wanna live without you anymore. I tried hard to get around you, to abort. Say the word, fall in love. But I don't wanna live without you for any length, any time. I tried hard to get around you, to ignore, to deny.
So, today is survey day. He is going around now, kind of doing all the survey-y things. I'm not going to film him doing his work, so we'll just kind of relay what's going on. Right now we've checked the bottom, the bilge, up where the transducer's at, and he's going to be checking the rudder post here momentarily. So far, the consensus is it could be worse, but we're going to kind of wait and see to give a full report, to really delve into everything he says, and hopefully it's not too bad. So, step 1, get the boat off the rocks. Step 2, put on the hard. Step 3, get a survey. And then, next step is TBD. Won't know until all the stuff with the insurance goes through. So, survey is done, all of that jazz is done, and now we're just kind of waiting on estimates, appraisals, and all that jazz. But in the meantime, we have been kindly offered a nice dinner by
Expedition Evans.
So Brett and Jade from Expedition Evans has invited us over for dinner. So to step away from the drama that is this boat,
And our lives.
in our lives. We're gonna go have dinner.
Guys, 2 boats in the matter of like 2 weeks ground. There's only one common element between the two.
Water, boats, Hayden. Kidding, it has nothing to do with Hayden.
No, it has everything to do with Hayden's mother seeing a crow the day before we left.
She jinxed us.
She jinxed us.
I'm not superstitious, but she jinxed us. But we're gonna take a break from all that and go look at somebody else's boat work for a change.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see how this all turns out. So
Their boat, not this evening.
yes, but we don't know it. We may not record any of this, so I don't know. Depends on what they're doing, but
Yeah.
this should be fun.
The sun rose over the valley for the first time in a while. It feels like a new dawn is breaking, and I'm free to laugh like a child.
Okay, so we didn't go all the way down to the boatyard to see the boat being taken in, because it's an hour drive to get down there, but they just got here. They're about to back the boat in now, so let's watch. So Sion's finally home.
It's like the world resumed turning, like everything's gonna change, and we can stop all the yearning and just exist in today. Is this what it feels like to be right on time? It's a new beginning. Yeah, this is just the start. We won't forget this feeling, but wait for the best part. It's a new beginning. Whoa. A new dawn is breaking. Take a look at the world we're making. I think we're finally waking up. These are the moments we live for, where stars and planets align, and it can't last.
Okay, so now that Ixion is back here and home, we can show you all the damage. We actually took the time back in Rhode Island to look at it ourselves without filming, because we wanted to know what was going on before we showed all of you. One, so we could cry in peace without you knowing, and two, so we make sure we didn't miss anything for camera. Okay, so the first bit of damage, which is actually probably the worst, and the thing we were most worried about was the rudder. So when we were on the rocks, we kept slamming and the wheel kept shifting by itself, so we actually were scared that this was like completely ripped off or just gone. But predominantly it's mostly, it got scraped down all the way to the glass, which actually ripped up in a bunch of places here, and the inside filling, foam, whatever you want to call it, is actually completely exposed here. So this back bottom part actually did get kind of ripped off, because here is roughly where this curve is at, is where the actual bottom of the rudder should be. So all of this right here is gone. And this damage is mostly on this side. Over here it's mostly just scuffed up a little bit. It's not as bad. So we have to basically rebuild the bottom of this. And thankfully, the biggest part, the rudder post, is actually completely fine. The survey didn't show any signs of damage or bending or any kind of defection to it, thankfully. So pretty much all we have to do is glass it, thankfully, because I did not want to have to replace the rudder post.
And that would require buying a new rudder.
yeah, that would require buying a new rudder, and you know what? We landed on the rocks, but thank God for small favors for that one, because we're like pros at fiberglassing at this point after doing those freaking port lights. So the keel arguably got the worst of it, but the keel is made of lead. So all we really have to do on this one is kind of give it a shape and then fair it, and then paint it. Because of the fact that it's lead, it's not encapsulated in glass. So mostly the bottom was just kind of ripped up, and then here you can see is some kind of fairing compound that was ripped up as well. I guess where somebody probably had previously run aground. So we are going to open the keel joint from the keel stub and rebed it, and then reseal it because of the damage. As you know, we tried to kind of fix the Catalina Smile last season. Now it looks like the freaking Joker. So it has to be done now. So this damage actually was not from where we hit the rocks, but when we were pulled off the rocks by the towing company, which is not to say they did something wrong. Obviously they have to literally pull the boat off the rocks. Some damage is actually going to happen. And what I'll actually show you next is damage just from that happening. But that's no fault of theirs. They didn't do anything wrong. Just want to put that out there. So all of this actually looks worse than it is. It's mostly just kind of an aesthetic thing. Nothing actually punctured the hull. There are bits that got down through the gel coat into the glass. But to fix this, honestly, it's just a matter of sanding it down and reglassing it. Not a really big deal. But all of this here was when it was pulled off the rocks. Because, you know, when you pull something, it's just going to scrape against the thing it's attached to. So that's all this is, and it looks terrible. Quite frankly, this is the thing that made me want to cry when it was coming out of the water, because I thought it was going to be utterly terrible. And it wasn't. So I don't know if the transducer still works. The little bibby bobby thingy here still spins. It's still attached. It doesn't look like it took any damage, but we don't really know. We'd have to turn it on just to check to see what it does. There's not really, like, the area around it, it looks a little messed up, but I think it'll be fine. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so
I don't
too.
want to buy another one.
Our brand new solar arch was too tall for Ixion to come home by land. So we actually had to cut the arch that I spent all this time building. That was kind of a tragedy. Not kind of, that was a tragedy. So we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do. They're way too heavy to like take off the boat right now. Yeah, it's a challenge.
And for anyone wondering, he's actually standing in the cockpit right now.
Well, sort of. I'm sitting, but you all saw how tall it was. We literally cut it in half.
So, we'll talk more about it next week.
Jake wanted me to say something funny, but I can't think of anything. And I was trying to do a bit from Hamilton, and that didn't work out, apparently.
Thanks, consolation, you're like super backlit, so we can't really see your face anyways.
Oh, good. Backlight.
See, the only damage we actually took was a couple tabs on the forward bulkhead broke away from the hull, but beyond that, like, we got off easy. The hull did not breach, we did not take on any water, the bilge is dry, and quite frankly, what more can you ask for when it comes to boat damage? You don't, like, that's the big end. Anything else can be fixed. It's when you have a hole in the boat that it becomes like, oh my god! But the end result is kind of this tornado. Not all of it was us. Some of the mess was definitely us digging through all of our stuff trying to grab our bags. But when they came in to tow the boat, some stuff got strewn about. Some of these cushions were all over the place. There was literally, all of the oranges were on the floor. That I'm still unsure about.
And stepped on.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how that came to be. The bag of oranges was here, if Nick can pan over to that, to the hammock.
The hammock's pretty deep. You can still see an apple in there that needs to get thrown away.
But they actually, like, that's where all the oranges and apples were at. But then when we came back and they were all over the floor. So I'm like, I literally don't know how that happened. I get if they were in the way, but they could have, like, cut the hammock and moved it.
They weren't just on the floor. They were, like, squeezed.
Squished and stepped on, so the floor was really sticky. Like,
still is.
I get that some things just fall over, but that hammock did not fall over. Clearly. It's still there.
Yeah, that was weird.
So it's a mess. We have a lot of cleaning to do. I kid you not, it's been probably a good 2 months. We still haven't gotten our clothes out because behind Nick in the V-berth is literally everything. Dramatic turn.
Literally everything. Everything.
We sailors see everything. So kind of the next immediate thing that we're gonna do is get all this cleaned up and organized because it smells like rotten fruit.
Yeah,
but,
and potatoes.
Yeah, and potatoes. And the bottom of the ice chest over there, all the potatoes kind of went, and they're gross on the bottom. But there was nothing we could do. Literally up until a week ago, it's been cold, it's been snowing, it's been icy, it's been rainy, it's been like, there's nothing we could have done. We could not get in here.
And it's way too difficult to, like, actually clean because of, yeah.
And it's a jungle out there in the cockpit. But now we're going to sit down and have a nice little chat with you guys about what comes next for us and Ixion.
What comes next?
Soon
you'll see.
Soon you'll see.
A brand new Ixion.
In front of me.
Okay. I was going to go with You Can't Believe.
What will it be? Time will tell. So until then, subscribe to our channel.
No,
I lost it.
What will be? Time will tell. Will it be brand new or will we sell?
I don't know.
Come and watch with us. We'll be here filming every little minutia.
Okay, this is starting to roll out, so cut. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already, and hit the notification bell so you get notified every week when we put out a new episode.
We want to hear from you, so please comment below. Let us know what you think of our episode, what you think of the damage, just what you think in general. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to also like and share with your friends.
And if you really like what we're doing, you can support us on Patreon. The link for that is down below.
Lastly, this season's definitely going to be a little different than last year. We are going to still work on fixing Ixion. We are going to continue the refit, but we're also striking a balance. And we're finding ways to get out on the water despite Ixion being on the hard. So follow us on our journey. It isn't over, it's only getting better. And we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
Water tank full.